Hello and welcome to this week's Rocky Brand live stream. I hope you are all doing very well. So I'm excited about this one this week, guys. We've got some people already on the live stream, which is awesome. Hey, Lise. Hey, David. Thanks for joining. Lise, you've got some questions for the guys this evening, so excited to ask your questions for you. Hopefully, you heard some music at the start of that stream. Give me a thumbs up if you heard some music, because if you didn't, then I forgot to unmute it, and we could be in some bother. Yeah, that's the new Rocky brand, Sonic branding. Oh, Lise says she certainly did, so that's good news. So I'm happy that that worked. I think I actually had it muted at the start, but I got it unmuted, so you heard most of it. But we'll probably play it back again during the interview, and find out some thoughts from Gabo and Mauro when we are speaking to them. They're lined up, they're sitting on Zoom waiting. I can see a guitar there as well, so exciting times. So so let's, I'm not going to waffle too long. Let's jump over onto the Zoom screen, and you can unmute yourself now, Gabo.
Hey guys, hey Cole, how are you?
I am great. I hope you are too. So let me just turn up. I'm just going to turn my desktop up. So let's just do some, some sanity checks. You guys talk, and I'll see if the guys in the live stream chat can hear you. So
okay, perfect. So I'm going to introduce myself first. My name is Gabo from Drop Music Branding.
My name is Mauro. We're missing one of our partners today, Dalmiro, but we're two.
He's watching for home. He was a little bit under the weather, so couldn't make it today.
Oh.
But it happens. So we are really happy to be here, Cole. Thank you so much. I must say, this is unexpected, and super happy to be on the avant premiere.
Yeah, and the same day that you play your song for the first time. That's really great to be here.
It circles, for us. So this is amazing, man. Thank you for letting us being part of this.
No, I'm glad. I'm just asking. Yeah, so everyone can hear you in the live chat. That was my biggest concern, is that we're having a whole live stream about audio, and I can't get the audio to work. I've been sleepless nights leading up to this. Sleepless nights that this wasn't going to work.
Cheers for that.
Yeah, no, it's great. David says nice guitar. So David is the musician in our Discord community who's training himself to become a graphic designer, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And he's done some cool work. So I thought he'd be particularly interested in this live stream today. So
we musicians are natural born entrepreneurs. So go, David.
And creative as well, Gotta give you guys that.
Since we born, it's like everything is against the musicians, so we learn to fight against the current, mainstreams.
Yeah. I feel that even as a graphic designer, we've got that as well, going against that all the time. Yeah. But thanks for the quick intro about what you do, and I've got some questions. Like I say, I've got some questions from some of the Discord. I've got lots of questions myself. We'll just see where it goes. I don't want to, we'll try to sort of keep this sort of 45 minutes-ish. I have a reputation for talking a lot, and my streams can end up being hours long, so we won't keep you there that long. If anyone...
We're for this, man. We're here right now. So
well, yeah, if you guys have got the time, we'll fill that time. I can guarantee you that we can fill that time.
I'm sure we will.
So I just want to say, if anyone's joined, and David's just typed 45 minutes, because he knows my live streams. If anyone's got any questions, please type them into the live chat, and I'll keep checking over there, and I'll pass the questions on to the guys. I have got quite a few questions, and I suppose we'll get there will be questions that you guys get asked all the time. We're also going to play we'll play the Rocky Brand audio that the guys have created, and we'll also you can see there's a guitar there waiting, so I'm sure we're going to get some other things here. But I just want to start with the obvious question. What is sonic branding?
Okay, awesome. So yeah, for to explain that, I need to first explain a little bit how we came across this and who we are, and in in some sort of hope you believe me, because it's a really weird story, right? We are three friends that we've known each other for our whole lives. With Dalmiro, who isn't here, we went to elementary school together, and we kind of saw the light of music early in our lives. 11 years old, we already knew we wanted to be musicians, right? So, in that path, we came to know Mauro when we're from Patagonia, and we came to live to our country capital city, right, Buenos Aires, to study music. Then we met Mauro in college, and we've been, that's why I said we musicians are natural born entrepreneurships. We've been classmates, friends, roommates,
Bandmates.
bandmates, a lot of years trying to make it the wrong way.
Yes.
you know?
Fighting the underground.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
we call it here.
Underground sucks. so
But yes.
we then, as we always had our professionalism in front of us. It's like the first thing first is we wanted to make a living out of music, not just as a hobby, right? So that made us go for different options that didn't necessarily mean performing live for an audience, right? We were also producers, so we love being at the studio. We are studio geeks.
Yes.
We are quite geeks about it, and this way we stumbled upon an opportunity to start making music for TV, right? So
We are speaking about 2006, 2007, and maybe.
yes,
No, maybe a little. Well, yes.
2011, I think.
2011.
2011,
Yes.
we started creating the music, the branding, the audio branding for the main TV station here in Argentina. But we didn't know we were doing audio branding or sonic branding, because it was just like we're doing music for
Yeah.
a logo, right? Kind of TV music. So years went by until we were commissioned to create an audio logo for. These are like really big, lucky strikes. We were commissioned to make an audio logo for a satellite TV operator that works on a regional level, right, with Future Brand.
Yeah.
And that's when Mauro here got the enlightenment and said, "Hey, Gabo, this is something really big, audio
This
branding.
is something. This is something. This
This is
exists.
something. We're not."
We actually saw a post of Gary Vee speaking about the rise of audio branding, and it was like, okay, but this sounds like what we
you're
do. This
doing.
is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So if Gary Vee is saying it's the next big thing, it's that then we started niching that way.
Well, I went mental. It was like, okay, this is it. Because, TV is sinking, and I was like, what are we going to do? And
Yeah.
I happened to work on this TV station as well. So I worked with a lot of motion graphic designers because I was kind of the producer of this area, the motion graphic department of the TV station. So I immediately understood the value of what we did and started eating books like a crazy person. Branding book, the 6 audio branding books that there are.
Yeah, as I say, I
are
don't
not
think
so
I've
many.
read one.
So I kind of got it, and we changed the way we worked, and I understood that I needed to understand brand strategy to support it, So, and I started thinking more like a designer who became a brand strategist but with a background from the music. From music, the
Yeah.
only thing that changes is the medium.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys are doing branding for your eyes, and we are doing for the ears.
Yeah.
So we came to the conclusion that audio branding is brand expressions through sound. So there are touch points just as visual, but there are audible touch points where you can listen to an audio logo, listen to a brand voice, listen to a tune. So as we came from this TV background and being musicians, we understood always a show structure. It's like
Yeah.
you you say podcast, we already know what needs to
Yeah.
be there to have an identity. So that came. It was like, okay, so I need to get this system to a brand, to the structure of a brand, architecture, brand architecture. So
Yeah.
where are you going to be listened? Is it a real retail store? We're going to do this kind of music. If it's a conventional communication like social media, so we're going to do this kind of. There are different kind of audio assets we create. So I went a lot. So brand expression through sound.
Perfect. It's great that
Yeah.
you summed it up in that really short bit. But you do.
Yeah.
It's like anything, isn't it? It's like brand strategy, and it's the storytelling and where you come from and the strengths that you have that you bring to
Exactly.
your own thing. I mean, you were saying there, there's about 6 books on audio branding. So the natural question is when are you writing yours? When's the drop
Well,
music branding
wow.
book coming
I'm,
out?
We are still waiting.
it's waiting on a Google document.
Because I think you guys have got
It has
a lot
like
of expertise.
just a few pages with some dream titles abandoned in some part of my drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is, we
Yeah,
actually
I'm
are.
the same. I've probably got a book in me, but it's
Well, thanks for just considering us. We could be interesting enough to write something like that. It's been on my mind, so thank you. I really appreciate
maybe
it.
you could release it as an album. Maybe every chapter's a song. Who
Well, I
knows?
I thought
Maybe.
I thought of that. Maybe an audio book first. We are audio people,
Yeah, well, it
but
makes absolute sense to be audio first and then move it into print.
yeah, the
But
thing
yeah,
is, I
you
don't
could.
have such a nice voice for listening to me like 2 hours in a row.
Well, that's an interesting one because that kind of falls into a question that we'll have later on about you saying your voice for your own brand may not be the voice which is the right audio voice to have for people to listen to.
It depends. If it's a personal brand, it's the only voice you got, so you need to embrace it.
Yeah,
You need to earn it also. You can wear makeup and expensive clothing,
yeah,
but you can fake your accent. You need to build your voice and the way you say things, and the face you put when you say the things, and the way you connect.
yeah.
That things you earn them, and your voice is nothing less but your own audio branding as a person, right?
Well, let's
Be
so,
intentional about it.
yeah, as we're talking about it, and this is actually May's question, and May's in the live chat just now, so you can say hi to May.
Hey, mate.
So May actually had 2 questions, and the question around the voice is actually her second one. And so May, I've kind of reworded May's question a little bit so that I can kind of get across. I think hopefully May, this is what you were getting at. So when when you go to create audio for a brand that involves the spoken word,
Yeah.
would you look to have someone from within the brand, an employee or the brand owner, to be that voice? Or would you use a professional voice actor and get them to try to imbue the personality of the brand, from a brand strategy perspective, the tone of voice? Is it better to have someone from within the brand, or is it sometimes better to get a professional voice person in to do the audio, any spoken or singing side of things?
Do you go or I go?
I would say both. There's no one good answer. It depends on the project. Maybe if it's a very personal brand, like too personal, like maybe at the intro I said Gary Vee earlier. You can hear his own voice saying, "Don't you want to be happy? I want to be happy," and it fits because it's him and his voice.
Well, it's his personal brand, so there's no one else.
Yes, but yeah, but in the most cases we always use voice talent with experience and professional guys. Always choosing what we need. If it's a woman's guy, which tone. We have this catalog of people that we call in each situation.
Yeah, I think to add to what Mario said, that is actually correct. You know, if it's a personal brand, of course it needs to be your voice because it's a personal brand. You know, it's not like I'm going to then imagine that I have my personal brand. It's just Gabo, the master of the universe, and then I come here and it's not my voice. That would be super weird. You know.
Yeah, that's yeah. But what? So
Which,
let's say
if
though,
it works,
let's say I came to you guys and I was like, right, guys, I want an audio, I want a brand song, and I want to sing on it because everyone knows my voice, but
Yeah.
I cannot sing. I'm tone deaf, so bad, and I'm like, so here we go, guys. I've recorded my audio. What do you do? Do you
Well, it's
do you
not
go
like that.
honestly, Carl?
We
Not a good
would
idea.
work around it, because if you want it so bad, it's because of something, you know. But maybe you're going to sing what we say you're going to sing, not what you think you're going
Yeah,
to sing. You know,
yeah,
it's like, for example, I'd love to use your brand as an example, because it is personal, but it's not your name. So it was kind of a tricky situation there, which is personal because the show is about you and your path and how to teach about it, you know. But you don't necessarily have to have your voice in your audio logo, but it's still part of your audio branding.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
every TV host, every single person that it's wanting to communicate has to be intentional about his voice, you know, because that's the medium you are communicating on. So I think that particularly you, I think that your voice is great because it sets this contrast between what you first imagine this rock your brand dude
yeah,
is going to tell me about it, but it's great because it gives such a depth to the brand. It makes it human, you know. It's not
yeah.
like, for example, we're doing a pharmacy brand right now, active right now. I'm not going to say where,
Yeah,
nor its name,
yeah,
but this kind of corporate brands tend to, one, the strategy says that they need to represent one-dimensional personality, right? Because they're targeting to a wider
yeah.
audience
It's a
than
generalization.
personal
Yeah,
brands. And even so, they know that it's not for everybody. So they need to niche down. But this, it doesn't sound so human, especially if you add to the mix, you know, like stock music. It's like it sounds less human. So that creates a disconnection between a brand that is one-dimensional stock music, you know.
yeah,
So that's where we need to translate these brand concepts and personality uh, treats, you know, to music, which is the really weird
It's the
thing
most
humans can do
that's
until
the
now.
most creative part because first of
No,
all we are kind of uh, as Gabo said, there's few books to read about this stuff, and we kind of make the the process as we go. But now with the years, it's getting easier. But the part which is the most abstract part is that having this chat with the client and writing down some key words and values and things you need to have reflected on the song, and then that moment when that became that word becomes a sound, it's like you need to use very hard your imagination and know what your brain, how your brain is going to read this kind of sound, and how is it going
Yeah.
to translate it into each person. Well, it's kind of hard to even talk about it.
Yeah, which is it's always an interpretation of something, you know.
Yeah.
We also today we had the launch of another project we did that launched in Belgium. It's an advertisement campaign, and we don't even understand the language. It's that crazy for me. It's like we speak in this universal music language and translate complex feelings, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah, the emotional side of that. It's just really funny, just the way Maro was talking about the process of, you know, taking these elements, the key words and the values and bring, and it's exact it's exactly the same process as creating a visual identity, and then you get to the point where you're like, I need to make this sound have this leave this impression. And
Yes.
for a lot of us here on the live chat who are visual designers, we have to do the same. We have to leave a feeling and an impression through typography and color, and make sure it comes across the right way. So it's just, it makes me smile that they're so closely related.
yeah.
And I can't, you know, I keep, you know, I keep mentioning David, but I just think to myself, there has to be benefits to being a musician and a visual designer, and there must be some connections you can make in your brain to help you. You know, if you're maybe struggling, and we all struggle as visual designers, we get blocks and we get stuck. And I just wonder if you could, you know, if you could go away and think of the brand in a musical sense, will that help you transition back across and over? And that leads me into a question which I have.
Okay.
I know
That
you're
wasn't
listening
a
process.
purposeful segue, by the way. That was just, I just realized I had a question, and the question is, if, you know, a client, ideally, so your ideal situation, would the ideal situation be for a client to come to you and say, hey, you know, we're building a new brand, or we're rebranding, we've got our brand strategy done, we've worked with a strategist, but we don't have any visual identity yet. We're just wondering, is that going to hinder things? Do you need to wait till I have a logo before you can help me? Or do you find it actually easier just working with the strategic side of the brand? Does that leave you more open to exploration rather than being tied to what a logo's trying, you know, a visual logo's trying to do? What would you prefer?
I would rather they say we pay up front.
Yeah, we all would.
That's the ideal client.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. We've it again. It depends. We've been doing this long enough for coming across different projects where we did the music before everything, and after, with everything done, just put this together with no time, which sucks.
Yeah.
But we found out that if the more freedom we've got creatively, we found out that we needed to present all these criteria to all every decision needs to have a why
Yes.
for the client to be able to envision. You know, if we are presenting an audio logo without any animation, without any logo, without just words, it's hard for the client to envision what we are trying to go, right? Because it's a little bit abstract. And I know we're talking about 3 seconds of some sounds
Yeah.
you've never heard, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't even have to be music. Sometimes it's just
a couple of
so-
bleeps and
yes. So, to
So,
envision, like
yeah,
you
the
said,
guy
it's
is you are
weird.
stealing from me, you know. But it's not the case. So we found out that we need I sometimes come up with some videos really cheesy.
Yeah.
That's what I can edit. Sorry, friends, about what we try to, we. It's all about adding a medium of communication, not one against the other.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not.
like completing, right? The image.
Yeah.
In the case, the image was first, but yeah, continue. Sorry.
So
Then I would say
to
something.
answer to your question, I think that we need to have the strategy really clear for us to enter in a project. Not necessarily the visual branding done, but yeah, a clear vision to where we want to go, because that's what we are going to do. We design music in a way, it's like we're going to do things with the information you give us and do it to support that message,
Yeah.
because we love to do music, but we do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
If we are going to do a branding project, is our expertise supporting this message, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
to add something else, when the case is that we have the logo, we have the design, we have the typography, we have the palette, all that things, when they are already chosen, that's information for us, because
Yeah.
if your logo has this
Yeah.
angles, hectic angles, or maybe it's more rounded, that tells me something about
Yeah.
how it should sound. So the color also, it can be kind of weird talking about colors and notes, but a blue can be some note and it can sound like this, and a green can maybe be brighter and yellow,
vibrant,
it gets weird, but it makes sense in our
Yeah, I mean,
heads.
I don't think it's weird. I mean, maybe as well, coming from being a designer and being in that way of thinking, then I can
Yes.
think that way. And I know that it took me a little while to get my new logo done for Rock Your Brand, and I can't remember how we got in touch, Gabo. I think, did you reach out to me? Was it through Ian?
No, I
Or
think
did I?
Ian presented us.
Yeah, so Ian
Ian,
from
Ian
Logo
Patchett.
Geek. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good friend.
You
Hey,
know,
Ian.
I'll tell him that you've given him a shout out just so that he has to watch this video. But yeah, it's when I came to you guys and I was like, yeah, I would love, to have an audio thing, because I'd already been, speaking to someone about, getting some motion graphics done to create an explainer video, and I was like, well, I'm probably going to need some audio for that. And I remember I was like, well, okay, I need to go to the guys, and I didn't really have an idea in my. I had a rough idea of what I wanted, but it wasn't exactly, clear. I just knew that I didn't want it to be, and you kind of got it across earlier on when you said, my voice, I've got this Rock Your Brand thing, but it's the Rock Your Brand isn't about, really heavy metal and thrash and, death metal and doom metal, which is all stuff I listen to. I'm a much more, I like to think of myself as a much more calming experience when I'm talking, because I'm trying to deliver information and knowledge. So I try to do it in a calm manner. So I wanted some music which felt, I think I said to you guys, I want some music that feels uplifting and, gives confidence and sounds rock like, but not, not
Aggressive.
Metallica heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
classic.
and you guys kind of, hit the nail on the head. I think we had one revision, one tiny revision, which I had, and you fixed that straight away, and it was like,
That's what you say.
well, from my
classic.
perspective, I don't care how long you have to worry and stress in the background. I'm just like we talked about earlier, what goes on behind the scenes. It's what the customer sees that matters, isn't it? We can all stress out behind the scenes, and I've done that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play.
Yeah, let's have a listen. Thank you
let's
so
kind
much
of,
for those amazing words,
we'll
man.
play through.
Well-
So hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. I think I've got my desktop audio set up. So some of them are quite, So the audio logo itself is like, 2 to 3 seconds. So we'll probably play that first. And this is the interesting one after what we were talking about there, is that, it's like if I present a logo to someone or a concept, if the client's not used to reviewing logos, they can't. I'm presenting it and I can visualize this logo on everything and patterns and it's going to look amazing. But most logos get presented on a white page, and the client's like, it's all right. Especially if it's a simple design. It's like, is that I'm paying you how much, and that's what you're giving me? But it's the wider branding where the value comes in, and it's the storytelling, it's the patterns, it's the versatility, the adaptability, and the same will go for music. And that's why I wasn't expecting to get all these different versions and longer and shorter versions, so I was over the moon. But this, I'll play the audio logo and I'll play it a couple of times just so people can hear it. So I'll shut up now and I'll just play it a couple of times. And hopefully you guys can hear that. So just tell me in the chat you can hear this. One more time for good luck. So that's my equivalent of the Netflix da-dum that most people will know. Lisa's saying, can we hear it again? So I'll play it one more time. And obviously we're playing this through a stream, so you're not going to be getting the best quality through a live stream. There's lots of little different layers and stuff going on in there, which is what kind of excited me about it. There's a very slight kind of distortion underneath there, which gets the electric guitar element across. And the cool thing was, when I first heard it, was in my head, I'd visualized what that would be for the logo animating. And if you can see my logo on screen, which is very similar to the Drop Music branding logo, with our lightning bolts and sans serif text. Just shows we've all got good taste, doesn't it? But I saw
You stole their logo, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about registered trademarks later, okay? The way I saw the Rock Your Brand logo, when Slavic had created that for me as well, was the two triangles that make up the lightning bolt. I saw them as sort of, either the customer or the designer, if I'm mentoring, and, where they want to be. And I saw this, this sort of this lead in the logo where it goes, the two things coming together. And when when the loops crash, so when it goes, so we've got the do going out, but just before that there's like a collision sound just before the do. And I see the two triangles coming together as the lightning bolt, and then Rock Your Brand coming in on the do as a visual explainer of the hits of it. And I wanted that solidity. And like I say, it just what you guys created was great. And so there's also so we've got a brand song. So anyone that was so Niels is saying that they can hear the Rock Your Brand and they think it's dope. So I don't think I can say dope as a 48-year-old. I think it sounds really bad. I just think it's too. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's like
You are dope.
Feel
That's
like I'm
great,
from
man.
from the 60s.
Just
but-
wanted to add, the audio logo is the audio signature,
Yeah.
and in this case, we have this animation vision and the logo, so we kind of represented all the storytelling, which ended up being this characteristic sound, which is also phonetic. There are audio logos that are not phonetic and don't have to do anything with the brand name. In this case, it did, which is great because then you can. Audio logos need to think of them when you're designing them to be evolved.
Yeah.
They're not just a trend. This is your brand's audio signature. So making them phonetical, it's like a safe that then you can say rock your brand.
And
You
it
know,
just,
it's
yeah.
like
It's like McDonald's with their I'm loving it, and they've got the whistle, you know.
yeah. Do you
You
want me
kind
to
of,
let's yeah that one.
I'm loving it.
you know, and
Let me,
you've got that kind of stuck in your head,
yeah.
you know. It's
Those
just instantly recognizable, even if you. And that's the thing as well. It must infuriate people who hate McDonald's because they're not going to get rid of that whistle.
well,
It's still
it
going to be
depends.
there.
You know,
Yes, like an earworm.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
definitely earworm.
marketing.
Yeah.
And the marketing is. I don't know if you read Seth Rogen. No, Seth Rogen. No, this is marketing. Seth. I don't.
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, yeah.
That you
Who
need
wrote
to
Purple
ask
Cow and
permission.
stuff? Yeah. I haven't
You
read
need
that
to ask.
book. I've not read This Is Marketing.
Well, that's an amazing book, and when I read it, I understood that the new marketing, this new media, internet, where the audience has the power to choose, which is great. Audience, let's rock. Uh, you need good marketing asks for permission, you know.
Yeah.
And we stumble across a lot of persons, a lot of people who say, "Hey, but I don't like in my cell phone that I always have it on mute, you know," and that's okay because you can choose.
Yeah.
But when you choose to listen, you need to. That's when you give permission to audio branding to communicate with me. You need to be responsible. You know, it's not. We need to grab attention responsibly, and that's very big for us because we are very sensitive to it because we dedicate ourselves to music.
Yeah.
Yes.
So audio pollution for us is a huge stuff. Everything we are grumpy at this point.
Yes. We are very.
We're the most grumpy.
Yeah.
very
It's the same for,
delicate ears.
it's the same in all kind of areas as well,
Yes.
content production is, it's just it's just not, most content is just noise. It's not useful. It's just look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that pushes people back, and that's not what
Yes.
you want. And so the whole rock your brand thing, and David's kind of picked up on, David the musician obviously has picked up on it. I'm saying rock your brand audio logo is ascending too, and by ascending I interpret it as rock your brand will help you to ascend. And it's really interesting that David's picked up on that, because that's the change that I had requested. Because when we did the first one, it was sort of a descending. It was sort of like do, and I came back to that was it, yeah. And I was like, I like it, but that was then that. So David, there you go. That was the original, and then I was like, but I kind of like the feeling to be more rock your brand and moving up the way, and that's when I said you guys just went away and fixed it like that. But I'm sure it took you a little while to do. But
Let's hear it from Mauro.
Yeah,
to
well,
explain
it was
that.
exactly the same, but the opposite way. It was, and then it was so, and it has like more uplifting ending, right? Rock your brand.
Yeah, it's
going up, right?
activating.
Yes,
yeah,
starting
yeah.
something.
So that I kind of loved that, as if it's and it's one of the things as well. And I'd mentioned this in the Discord earlier on. I've got, I was speaking to Gabo at the start. We were kind of setting, make sure all the equipment was working, and Gabo was like, "Oh, you've changed your office." And I'm like, "Well, I'm in my home office just now, and I've got my main office, and I haven't created any edited videos for a long time now. I just do the live streams, and that's because I do most of my edited videos at my work office. But the office it's an awkward shape. It's got a sloped ceiling. It's not ideal, and I have to set the camera up and and then take it down when I want to use the office. And I'd kind of got used to not creating the edited videos, and then I get my audio logo and my music, and and rather than leaving the office in town, today I signed a lease on a larger office, So I've gone bigger because I can use that office to set up a permanent video space. And one of the things behind that is, for me, is the confidence that the audio that I've been given has
Wow.
given me to move
Thank
forward with
you.
my own brand. And that's the confidence that I feel that I give to my clients when I create, especially with rebrands, you're giving them, they maybe feel tired and they don't know where to go, and then you give their brand a whole new lease of life. And that's what this audio has done. And I'm not doing it just to kind of blow smoke up your ass because you're on a Zoom call with me. I genuinely mean that it has made a big the same when Slavic came to me with the new Rock Your Brand logo. It completely shifted everything for me. It was like, this is now a logo, because the one I created was done. I needed something really quickly, and I just kind of lived with it. But I didn't want to do anything seriously with the brand until I had all the parts in place. Maybe there's a bit of procrastination there on my part, but the logo came along at the start of this year, maybe the end of last year. And then, I got put in touch with you guys, and, and it just seemed, sometimes things just seem to happen at all the right times. And now I'm moving into a bigger office, and now I need to start actually earning some money to pay for all of that stuff. But, that's the chore that we all go through.
If you need to gamble, gamble on yourself, right?
That's it. I can only gamble on
Absolutely.
myself. And, and a lot of positive things happen when you're in a positive mindset. You tend not to focus on the things which are going wrong. You tend to focus more on the things that are going right. And I kind of needed that. And so, the music's kind of done that. So I'll play, what I'll do is I'll play the brand song now, as well.
Let's do it.
So I'll play that, and I'll put my mic on mute so I don't fluff it up. See, that sounds like me. That sounds like me. It's just, anyone listening, you would have heard the audio logo right at the start of that, and it just kind of goes, straight into this upbeat, rocky, but not anything that's going to frighten someone off. And that was kind of one of my key things, was that it wasn't going to kind of, if anyone was listening to the music, it would be too frightening. David's saying that he loves the sounds of motion and movement that he's hearing in the bass through the track.
Steve Harris.
And then we've got the branded loop, which can be used, sort of lower in the background. So if I'm, and that's one of the things. In my edited videos, I don't have any audio, and I've noticed that other people have audio in the background, just low. Some people have audio in the background far too high, and it competes with what they're saying. But I could see myself potentially having that just playing, because if it's only a 5-minute video, just something to just take away. I mean, I'm very keen that people listen to my voice and what I'm saying. But there are times where you want to use that. So I'll play the branded loop. I can't remember how long that is. Is it like about 30 odd seconds, something like that?
Besides, sorry to
go on.
interrupt, but besides, the branded loop is designed for you to speak on, because there's no frequency that is going to battle with your voice. We that's intentional, and also I found it that it's relaxing, and it changes people's moods. Maybe when you're saying something really, really important, you don't have music. But when maybe you want to loosen up a little bit, you
Yeah.
got your music,
So you can use
which is great.
you can use the music or lack of music as punctuation
Exactly.
when you're giving your message. So yeah, no, that's a great way
They
of
are
thinking about it.
communication tools.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right, let's have a listen to this.
Okay.
And then that I'm using the Windows the Windows file window, so it's not going to auto loop. But when that auto loops, it's a seamless auto loop, so that will just go round and round. And we're obviously listening to that really loud there. When it's at a lower level, it has a completely different feeling to it. When it's playing. So if you watch this live stream again and you get to this bit, turn your audio down and listen to it, and you'll get a very different vibe from it. That was very I had that full volume, so it was very punchy, but obviously I'm not going to be trying to talk over that on a video with it playing that loud. And as Gabo said, it has a very different feeling when it's quieter. Hey Henry, thanks for joining the stream. And then we've got the short version of the audio logo, which is like super short, but it will work for things like I see myself using that for things like transitions during videos. If I've got like top 5 logo tips, when I move from tip 1 to tip 2 and there's like a sweep across the screen, I could see myself using this. So I'll play this a couple of times because it is super short. So yeah, just that click, I can see myself coming up with something to, I've just realized, yeah, I could maybe do the triangles could come in and click, and then they split the screen, so that would be lovely. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do that. Right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And then the last, so David's saying it's like the audio favicon. So it's the super short version of it. And then we've got the outro, which is a very different feeling to the other piece of music. It was, and that surprised me when you guys sent it through, because I thought it was just going to be like another sort of rendition of the brand song or the loop. So to have something which was it feels super optimistic to me, and I love that's what I'm going to be leaving people with. And this will get played when we finish this. I'll be playing this on the the close, the end screen for the live stream, and so these will be getting used all the time now. So this is
I just gotta say, sorry to interrupt you, but I feel incredibly amazing to be part of this revelation. So I remember the day we 3 got together and started talking about what are we going to do for the outro. It was like, okay, let's do something very chill, because let's do a ballad, like a rock ballad and that kind of stuff. And then Mauro said, I did a little research on Cole. Have you seen his live streams? And I was like, okay, no, I did. Let's watch them. And then when we did that, this is what really makes ourselves different from the others, our competition.
The people who are worse than you, the ones that are, the
those
terrible
guys.
ones. Yeah, those guys. Yeah.
No, the thing is that we are not like trying to conquer the world and we are the biggest. We are just 3 guys, that are in love of what they are doing, and we want to be 3. We don't want to conquer the continent. It's like, which it's great because we can do everything tailor-made, and there's no middleman between the creativity and
Yeah, 100%.
strategy. It's
Yeah.
like, so we can tailor-made every process of what we do. So everything is going to be, which I think it's what's most valuable nowadays, things made by hand, by a human. And we saw the energy you were closing every episode, every live stream, and I don't want you to go too ahead, so please play it and let people surprise.
So let's go.
We went from a ballad to this.
So you can imagine me going, so everyone, till I see you next time, stay creative, and then a ballad starts. Probably not probably not what you would be expecting. It would be a bit of a change. So if I'm saying, thanks for joining everyone, see you next time, stay creative. How awesome is that? It's so upbeat, so uplifting. I
gotta thank you, man. It was like stepping on a time machine for us. It was like listening to Green Day. It was like, wow.
It was just it's the little it's for me it was the little surprises of sort of the shouts that have been put in there as well. So you've got like the human voice kind of shouting out and stuff, and yeah, it kind of it takes me back as well to sort of playing some pop punk stuff and just that, and that's what you want people to have taken on information, feel better that they can maybe achieve something because they've learned something new, and I want them to go away with that kind of positive, happy, positive vibe. It might be someone's come on and I've given them a logo review, and maybe it's maybe okay. So you have to go away and start again.
They can trash things too,
Yeah,
song, they can trash something.
But that's always been one of the things as well about that. It's why it took me so long to start doing the logo reviews, is because I didn't want to crush anyone's dreams. I didn't want someone to kind of submit a logo and I'm like, there's I'm probably going to have to say, it might be a good idea to go back to the drawing board with this, but do it in a way that's constructive, where I'm not just saying that's terrible, you need to start again. We discuss where the failings are, maybe in the existing logo, and what opportunities and routes they have for the going away and revisiting it. And so that type of music to kind of end the stream is that it's almost a I can do this. It's not all bad. It's we can go ahead. And so I was I loved it, but I think that would be far too much for an intro for the brand song. I think it's very. I think what it would do is it would hype me up too much, and I would under-deliver to what the music would give a certain expectation, and that would be like me going from the outro to the ballad. I think that would be like, super hype, and then I'd be like, hi, welcome to the stream, So
I would love to sample the super hype.
So
it's better to not have to do anything after the song. We are already old, we got our gray hair, so after punking up a little bit, we need to go to bed.
Well, I've lost all my hair, so I can't even I'm going gray in the beard, but not up top. I just want to check the chat.
They migrated.
It's just fallen down. That's all it is.
I think the great thing about having this energy at the end is that it gives you more energy to look for another episode. It makes you have.
It leaves you wanting for more.
Yes,
right?
that's what
guys.
Say.
Thanks.
Thank you. There's no. I was trying to translate a Spanish word in my head that doesn't exist in English. So.
No, that's another, that's another skill that I just do not have. I can translate Scottish into English. That's as far as I go, and it's essentially the same language. So, and I struggle with that. But just looking at some of the comments here, so Lise is saying it has a bit of a rebellious feel to it. I like it, while still being friendly. David loves the outro. Jenkins says it's got very much a punk rock feel to it, as you said. Henry saying that's a great end credits song too. If someday you have a crew. And David saying the shouts really suit it. Rocking Your Brand sounds like audience bouncing up and down at a loud gig. So that's exactly the types of feeling that we want. And you never know, maybe I'll get famous enough where I'm doing Gary V stuff and I've got my own speaking at stadiums and stuff, and we could end with that, and everybody's bouncing up and down. We could all dream. We could all dream.
We're going to play live if you do that.
Yeah, and you guys can bring the band, and you can play, open up for me, on stage. That'd be awesome. So I'm watching the time, and I want to get through. I want to at least ask. I've got some questions, but I want to ask a question that Lise had.
Yeah, sure.
So Lise had a couple of questions, so we'll see if we can get it. So Lise says, while I love listening to music, I'm clueless when it comes to understanding it. How would someone like me determine who to approach for the audio part of branding in a project?
Okay, so you don't need to understand how music works to appreciate. So I believe that, as I said before, music is a communication tool eventually, or at least that's what we are working on, So I think it's always an interpretation. You need to click with the person on the other side of this request, Of course, we are not the best suited to do every work.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes.
especially when it comes to personal brands, there's a key factor that is subjectivity, because you are creating a tune for a personal brand, and that person needs to feel represented by it, which is really more, it has to do more with psychology than what, is really getting to know that person and understanding their language. It's us that we need to translate that language to music, not you, right? So I think that the criteria should be click with the person.
Yes,
Do you want
but
to
the
add?
other thing is that if you're taking care of your own business and you have your website and your accounts on Instagram and stuff, you actually communicate through sound.
Yeah.
Most of us do it, but most of the time it's not taken care of the correct way. So what I mean is it happens. So if you have someone who could take care better than you, that's great. That's a great start. And from the other side, if music can motivate you, if it can give you emotions, you already understand music. The technical part, I don't know. It's very important for us. It's a language we use to communicate, and
Among ourselves.
yeah, there are tools we build with it over the years, and it's all
So
about.
if Lise was like, okay, I want to get, it might not even be for herself. It might be, she might finish a logo for a client, and the client's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're really interested in some logo, some audio branding.
In that case, it's
How
us.
would how would Lise kind of search for someone? What would you suggest? So if she did a Google search and people came up, you guys come up, what should she be looking for? Just kind of looking at the types of audio that they're if you're looking for a visual designer, you might go, I like the style. They've got a specific style, and I like that, and I think that will fit this brand. I'm very much I don't know. I probably do have a style, but I'm a generalist in that I don't work in a niche with specific industries. And I don't think I've had. It's funny because I don't know if people come to me because I have a style. I think people come to me these days through my YouTube channel because of more that they feel that I know what I'm doing, because I talk about, you know, the things that I do every day, and they feel a trust that I can understand them and deliver a logo that will fit them. And I see you guys in that space as well. But obviously you guys will be up against the same as us as graphic designers. You've got Fiverr, you've got Upwork, you've got all these people who, you know, and I'm sure there's probably instances as well where people are taking sounds and selling them to people as their audio logo, but they're breaking copyright somewhere. They've just taken a stock sound and they may have even just sped it up a little bit, you know, just to try to make it sound a little bit different. So, I mean, I obviously found you guys through Ian, and so it was a personal thing to me. And so the trust was already built in some way because I trust Ian to give, you know, good recommendations. But if you're like, I don't know anyone, how do I go about this? How do I know that I'm going to find the right person to do it?
Okay, so you need to Google drop music branding. No. I just think it's a really tricky question because it involves a lot of key factors. You know, how do you choose a designer? How do you choose anything for what's sake? You know, it's like, I believe that if you need to first being able to be found, which is what we are constantly working on, you know, leaving a trail, a digital trail for people to find us.
Like this episode, for example.
Like this episode is one thing, and the recommendation from Ian, it's because we worked with him. That it's because I reached out to him at some point on a crazy journey of networking, which is, you know, it's like I'm in a digital sea on my little boat and I'm going there, you know. It's like, I honestly think that what we do, when we know we meet a person that we haven't ever met before, is having a discovery call and talking, and we generally click because we are so late in our career that we already know what people are looking for.
Yeah, I have the same sort of instincts as well.
That's why the gray hair, you know, it's like I'm the one that sails on drop music branding. I'm sorry, guys, but it's like that. So I'm confident enough. I always say that I could sell only this because I wouldn't be able to go and sell carpets for a living. It's like, this is what I do, and this is what I'm so confident about my team and what we do that it's very hard for a sale not to come through. For me, you know, it's like, the only thing I can say is, well, maybe we didn't click and that wasn't our project. So I think that's how you choose for an audio branding, a designer. You know, we all have web pages. How did you choose your designer? Was it great experience? Was it bad? Okay, time to change. It's a process.
Yeah, so I suppose it's just that asking around, isn't it? And if you, because if I have someone that comes to me and I can't help them for whatever reason, it might be I don't think they're the right fit, or maybe they haven't got the budget or whatever. I usually have a big enough network of other designers that I can recommend, you know, and say, hey, you know what, I think I've got a friend who's a graphic designer. They're really good. I think they'll be a better fit for you. Do you guys recommend to other kind of audio agencies, or are you like, no, there's nobody who's worth recommending anyone to, you know?
The thing is, when it comes to audio branding, it's very, how do you say, escaso. There's not too much.
Offer.
Yeah, the offer is not too much.
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
It's very niche. You know?
It's very, we are three and we can deal with all the work because, you know, we take the project by project. But but what you were saying about how to choose, or maybe look at the portfolio and say it matches with my brand, or this guy has the style of. The thing is that we kind of adapt to anything that comes.
Yeah.
So if it's a pharmacy, it will sound like a pharmacy. If it's a rock your brand, it's gonna sound like rock your brand. So it's so versatile that
Yeah. Besides, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, like, for example, in this Belgium ad, we were commissioned to create a 50s kind of ballad. You know, can you play it?
oh my god.
I kill him.
Okay.
It was like a very feel-good ballad from the 50s,
Yeah.
but none of us are singers. So what we did is we hired a singer, you know? It's like we don't recommend because we got the possibility to create a lot of ideas and lay them down to sound waves. But if we need an instrument we don't play or we don't have like a nicer voice, we
Yeah.
we hire people, and that's it. We don't need to recommend. We actually give people the job,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And,
Because
and bring them in that
what's
way.
I think that's the most valuable thing we got is our criteria. This thing of translating what you need that you don't know about music or how to express it, or maybe there's something you think you need, but it's
But it's
something.
yeah,
So
but it's
that's
something else. Yeah, it's the same with visual design. Most people come to us and they want this, or and but often what clients want isn't what they need, and you have to
yeah,
kind of guide them down the path and say, well, first of all, we need to help you to understand what branding is and what its job is, and because very much you probably be the same. It's with logos, it's we want the client to like what we create for them. Of course we do, but
yeah,
your music, like a logo, like a visual logo, an audio logo, has a job to do. It needs
Yes.
to evoke
yeah,
a feeling, evoke, be an attraction, all of that. And the person who owns the personal brand is different. I'm talking larger companies.
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
it doesn't matter if the person running the company doesn't like the song. If the song is going to attract their ideal target customer, then it's doing its job. And I think that's where the conversations come in. And so let's say there were lots of audio branding companies out there.
Rob
You
is
could go to
branding.
you could go to their website and listen to their portfolio and go, oh, I like all the stuff that they do. And then when they go and speak to that company and they go, yeah, here's the business that I have, I want music like that. But if the answer is, well, the type of music that we specialize in doesn't suit your brand, we can't help you. Or is that the type of company that would just give that client what they want, but then it doesn't really work out? Whereas I think you guys, and I got that from my discovery call, and you didn't rush me along or anything like that. And you asked me questions which I hadn't really thought about. And it was a really, really great conversation, and it got me thinking about my brand in a different way. And I'm a brand designer, and it was like, it was funny being on the other side of the fence and being asked these questions that I push my own clients on, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to push you on this, and you guys pushed back on me, and it was really, really good. I'm just going to quickly glance at my questions and see if there's anything. I've got so many, and there's no time to answer them all. We might have to do a part 2 at some point.
Okay, in the meantime, if I'm allowed, Cole, I just want to thank everybody on the audience and for these amazing questions. We are really happy to be here. And if you ever want to find us, anyone, we are Drop Music Branding. You can we got our website or on LinkedIn and all that socials, right? So thanks, Cole. And
No, it was great having you on, and like I say, I wanted to have the creators on the stream when it was, when the music was given
That's our
out to
first
the
one for
world.
us. That's the first one. So thank you so much.
I was going to. I'd said on my last live stream 2 weeks ago that I was going to drop everything into the Discord community and let the Discord community hear it first as kind of a perk of being in there. And I just thought, no, I'm going to hold off because I'd like to use it as the opening to the live stream and then discuss it and let people have an understanding of. Now, obviously, like a visual logo, not everyone, I'm not going to be around all the time whenever my audio plays and I'm able to go, and this means this and this means that.
Yeah.
It's the same as a visual logo. You're not always going to be there to say, and the color red represents this for this brand.
Yeah,
It doesn't work like that. But I just thought this is a great opportunity to show the deep skills that you guys have and how much thinking and the thought process that goes into it all. And I know for a fact that everyone on here will have got a lot out of it. And I know there's a few people on here who are not designers, they're not in the design world, but they're getting a lot out of this, and will go away, just feeling much more educated and understanding, so that the next time they do listen to the Netflix the Doom or another audio logo, you go, you know what? That's not just a simple. Someone's not just sat down and went and hit 3 keys on a keyboard, a bit like some people think for us as graphic designers that we hit the generate logo button. It doesn't work that way, and it's a deep process, and and I look forward to having some earworms stuck in my head as the years go on, and then finding out that it was actually a Drop Music branding creation that's that's like
Thanks.
stuck in
Hopefully.
here. But one of the things I just wanted to touch on as well is that, and I mentioned this in the Discord, is that a lot
I want to join the Discord community if you don't mind, just so I can interact with your community.
No, I'll send send you the link, and you can jump in and join.
Awesome.
And it's just that a lot of the things that a lot of the sounds that bring memories for me are from television and from when I was growing up as a child. Now, I don't watch television anymore, and it was kind of interesting to me. It's like, so I know the Netflix, the Doom, I know the HBO Sting, which, as I said to the guys before the stream started, the HBO. Have you got it there, Gabo? Just play the HBO one. So that's the HBO Sting, but for me, it's Game of Thrones. It's so intrinsically linked to Game of Thrones for me, because I think that was probably the first HBO program that I watched, or that I watched a lot of, so that, whenever I hear that, I watch other things on HBO now, but when I go to watch them and that music comes on, Game of Thrones just pops straight into my head. Even though I know I'm not away to watch Game of Thrones, it just pops into my head.
Sadly for me too, because I was a huge fan and I hated how it ended.
Well, yeah, we're all huge fans up till the last season. We've all got that in common. But
I even read the books. It was like expecting that ending.
It's just, I just find it, and you said as well earlier on in the stream tonight that, that kind of television was kind of dying a little bit, and you were doing music for TV. So what were you going to do? And so it's really interesting now that, TV still exists, and there are still adverts being made, big budget adverts, I'm sure. And I'm sure there's lots of, there's lots
like
of
the Titanic.
Yeah, there'll be lots of stings and things like that. But when you think about where a lot of, let's call them the younger generation, are consuming content on things like TikTok, and the social platforms, they're not watching television. This is where, and TikTok with, all of these things with very short time spans, this is where the audio logo and the audio stings and these things on repetition start to make a connection with them. For us as younger people, it was like watching your favorite TV program. Then there'd be the advertisement, commercial breaks, and you'd get hit with all of these different audio stings for all the different products, for toothpaste and all the rest of it, and they stick in your head. And some of them had like, you know, minute-long theme songs, and you knew all the words, and but that time has changed. I think attention spans, I mean, even if you do watch TV these days, most people, you know, record it, and the software automatically doesn't record the advertisements, and so it just jumps straight across. So I think it's an exciting time for you guys to be in this space, because it's, you know, for me as a brand strategist now, the key thing for me is differentiation for my clients. How can we be different? And one of the ways to be different is to have a different sound, you know, and I'd never thought of that before. It was always a different look. How can we make you look different and appear different? Whereas now it's how can we make you look and sound different? That's a very different thing. So, you know, I'm excited to kind of see, you know, where things go. I'm working with a client right now. We've got a brand strategy session tomorrow, and, you know, we've touched on it a little bit, you know, audio branding for them. You know, this is a big project for them. They've never done brand strategy before. Their business is very successful. They have a successful business, but they want to grow, and they feel that they needed more of a strategic approach. And so, you know, and their target audience is homeowners and older homeowners who probably still watch TV and things like that. So, you know, there's a chance that he may create a television advert, you know, and so audio will become a key to that. So fully expect me to reach out again, guys, to, you know,
Okay.
on behalf of that client. But yeah, so David's just saying there, lovely to hear your guitar playing throughout the stream. Great picking, he said. So he loves your picking techniques. So you know, but
Hundreds of years picking.
Yeah, there was no peak.
yeah, but thanks again, guys. You know, obviously I'll make sure to leave a link to the website and stuff in the video description on YouTube. Please go check out the website of the guys. And, you know, if you've got any clients that are thinking about audio, or if you've got any clients that aren't thinking about audio and you think they should be, then you know who to speak to. And if you have any clients who are thinking about a logo, you know who to speak to. So
That's the guy.
you know, and together, you know, we could do some amazing things for your clients, or your business if you're a business owner. So yeah, so I'm going to end the stream there, guys. Thanks everyone for joining. I really appreciate it. Gabo, Maro, thanks so much. It's probably the most fun I've had on a live stream, because it's usually just me talking.
Wow.
So thank you again. I'm going to move over to the end screen, and we will play out with my brand new outro. So thanks very much, guys. And
Bye, everybody.
everyone,
Thank you.
stay
Carl.
creative, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next live stream. Bye for now.
That was amazing, man. Thank you so much.
Space.
That was amazing, man.